What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast. We're talking about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So welcome back to the show. If you did not listen to last episode, which I think was pretty good, about ex-Twitter employee getting 3.5 years for espionage. Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesdays a discussion. Fridays is everything else. And this will be our last week until after the new year. So we're going on a break for the holidays. Then we come back. We'll celebrate episode 300. I don't know what day it's going to be. It's going to be a Friday, though, after we return. But definitely continue to tune in, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff I always forget to talk about. And without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is actually from Yahoo Finance, right? Yahoo Finance, and it's titled from Alicia. I'm gonna butcher your name, Alicia. I'm sorry, Sakirska. All right,
better than me.
Yeah. Sobeys cybersecurity breach brings $25 million net earnings hit. So think about that, right? So, company had a cybersecurity breach, and they got 25 million in net earnings, and I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. But the incident, this is the incident that shut down pharmacy operation at Sobeys for 4 days. This was back in November. And the parent company, Empire Company, they says it'll cost them 25 million in net earnings. And the company said as it booked an increase in profit. So they made money for the quarter, but they still said this cost them 25 million. So even with losing the 25 million, they still made money. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to learn their lesson about being better with cybersecurity, but we'll see what comes from it. But Empire is actually the second largest grocery chain owner in Canada, and they operate Sobeys, Freshco, IGA, Farm Boy, and Safeway. Safeway is actually falls under that Canadian chain. I didn't know.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what? I was like, I shop at Safeway. Like, I'm supporting Canada. All right, like, hey, I guess But yeah, there was a cybersecurity event on November 4th, right? But they didn't provide any additional details about the incident, whether or not they paid the ransom, how everything was acquired. But yeah, 25 million hit in their net earnings. Now it caused some temporary problems, right? Like when it came to their pharmacy system. So people that were going to the pharmacy for these places were having issues to where they were having issues getting their medicine, which is one of those things that can hurt, right? Like you got people that I know sometimes when I need a medicine, right? Like I might get down to a week or something like that, and it may be that long before I get whatever I need, however I acquire it, right? So this could be people that could go a little bit of time after they've already ran out of medicine. That could be something that's dire for them that they need. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is not a. I want them to learn their lesson, but I don't know if they will, right? Because they posted a profit still with all of this. They may look at the numbers on this, right? And be like, okay, we took a hit of 25 million, right? But we still made money. So do we need to spend let's call it $2.5 million a year? You know what I mean? Which seems like simple math to me, right? Like spend that to save 25 million, but they're like, oh, but we could take that and put that somewhere else. You know how these companies operate, right? I'm not a business major. I don't know what they do, but obviously there was something in what they were doing to where they got hit and they had an IT issue. So yeah, this is I don't know why. I don't know why we have to keep doing these articles, right? We have to keep bringing this to people's attention. And these big companies, especially when you're the second largest grocery chain, right? Like we've already seen, what was it, JBS or whatever when they got hit? JBS
Yep.
out of Brazil, right? When they got hit. We've seen the Colonial Pipeline, right? We've seen all these big companies get hit. And for whatever reason, it's not making these companies do anything better when it comes to the cybersecurity, right? And it's a little disheartening, right? Because we put our faith in these companies that they're protecting us appropriately, and they're just not, right? But yeah, they took a hit, but they still made a profit. So we'll see if they learn their lesson. But it's just not. I don't know. It's just it's disheartening to me, right? So Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's the math for me, actually. So I was doing the math in my head. I was like, so they can pay somebody less than 1%, to save them $25 million, right? Because yes, they did make a profit, and that's the shareholders are still overjoyed. They made some money, yada yada yada. You could have made more money. I thought that was the whole point, unless things are different over in Canada, which I doubt, right? But Canada's like our cousin. They like money. Like they're not against money. So that's the whole thing. Like, I know you're going to need more than one person, right? So like, yes, you pay somebody less than 1% at the top of whatever that pyramid is, and then they'll have people underneath them that direct report, yada yada yada. They have to build teams, all that good stuff. But you're still not going to spend the whole 25 million to secure your empire, pun not intended. When it comes to your data and all that stuff. So like, yes, you lost 25 million this quarter or whatever, but how much did you lose in potential revenue in the future? Because now people don't want to buy from your pharmacy because they're like you said, because I wait till last second before I go re-up my prescriptions, because I don't feel like standing in line. I know you can do it by mail and stuff like that. It gets complicated. I don't want to talk about that. So I'm just lazy. All right. I just want to show up, get my meds, and roll out. Like the Transformers. But the problem that I see is that yes,
that might go over some people's heads, man. That might go over some people's heads.
But yeah, that's the problem I see is it just seems like it's a simple investment. And yes, we talk about the pipeline is filling up right now, but there are plenty of people who can step into those roles at this time. And then we can go into like, you're not posting jobs right, and you're asking for like decades of experience for somebody who doesn't need that to be in the position, yada yada yada. We're like, this is a broken record. But just start paying people. Like, start bringing people in. If you post the ads right, you ask for the right components, you can build a smaller team of people who actually care, and then can also protect your infrastructure to keep the money in your pocket. So that's the main objective here, is keep the money in your pocket. And they don't seem to be getting that. At least we don't know what happened, right? It could have been somebody who clicked a bad link. It could have been somebody pivoted from an unsecure thermostat into your payroll department that was not air gapped. I don't know. Like, there could be a multitude of ways that this happened. It seems like it's a very large enterprise with multiple parts, right? Like, how many of these stores were impacted? Was it ransomware? What it actually happened? They do not go into great detail. They don't have to disclose that. To a certain extent, right? They just have to say we lost money, but we made money. So, and as usually how long do they hold this information, like, before they actually advertised it, to make sure that shareholders were not too upset. Is also part of the politics of making this money that they're generating over time. But I said a whole lot of things to say, just pay people. Just bring in a team of people who will do this for you, to keep your stuff safe and secure and everybody happy. Because was data lost? We don't know. Do they have people's PII now? We don't know, or a PHI in this case, like, because they'll know what meds you're taking. Like, can they blackmail you for that? I don't know. Just not enough detail in this article, but money was lost, and it seems as though if you would just make a smaller investment, you could protect a larger sum of money. So easy math, people. Yeah, but so I pretty much have to say that it's just me complaining. Hire me. I'll take 0.5% of this to help you on your way. But I'm sure there's a lot of people in Canada who say the same thing, right? Like, hey, if you just pick us up, we will protect your stuff. But I think it's every other week now we see this, like, when it comes to the social media, people firing their teams and so on and so forth. There's a global recession. We don't know how that's going to impact cyber right now. Like, we know it's impacting IT, but is it like IT and cyber are separate, right? They're not the same thing. It is marry very well. It doesn't seem like you have enough people to fire anyway, because you're not bringing enough people into the field to fulfill a mission. So there's also that, right? Like, will cyber be impacted and you don't have enough people in the pipeline to start cutting them? So that's also a thing, right? But yeah, protect your assets. People, be careful with who you shop with. I should be kind of worried about some of these entities until they get their stuff straight. But hopefully there's full disclosure, so people who were impacted will get that information if they were impacted. But I digress. But definitely continue to tune in, hit up all of our social medias. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Clubhouse. and continue to tune in throughout the week. So tomorrow is a pretty interesting article about fraudsters scamming fraudsters. So I always like to talk about those because it's pretty interesting how there's rules to stealing apparently. So definitely tune in for that. And then Friday's everything else. So continue to hit us up throughout the week. Stay safe, stay secure.